Hello everyone, I'm Squallcasting. We are continuing coverage of the clan war between DarkOnyx and Samurai Faith. DarkOnyx is they're one game from winning. Praetorian here, he has won 3 games in a row. So, or wait, 3 games in a row? 2 games in a row, yes. 2 games in a row. And, Praetorian, good luck, balls of steel. So, Praetorian apologizing for the cheese. I don't know, you know what, dude? Don't apologize, man. Cheese is an art, and while I made all my statements earlier about if cheese is properly scouted and prepared against, it can be defeated, you know, cheesing well, it's a hard thing to do. You know, it takes, okay, I'm going to get flamed for that statement. It's not hard to cheese, but it's hard to cheese really, really well. Wow, Praetorian thought his opponent was going to cheese, so that's why he cheesed. Okay, kind of interesting to get into the mind of his the player, see the thought process. But yeah, so it is Praetorian. He's won 2 games in a row. We do have balls of steel now from Samurai Faith. He is their master Zerg. He is their ace. So it is up to him to kill Praetorian, Naples, and Cal, the remaining players for DarkOnyx. So Praetorian gets in. Did he see the pool? No, he did not. But he's going to head down there, block the hatchery, but Balls of Steel knows what's up, so he's like, you know what, it's going to get blocked. I'm going to throw down my spawning pool. And this is kind of the, I guess, the gap between the Masters and the Platinum level players, you know. We did see, who was it, Night Vision. He didn't get a spawning pool. He just went down to try to take the hatchery. And Praetorian delayed it for so long. Like, I think it took Night Vision 2 in-game minutes to clear all that out and get his base there. Like, he did take the 3rd eventually, but he was so delayed. And this is what you see in pro matches too. You know, if you're like, okay, I've seen a probe, I know he's going to block that. And wow, yeah, he actually put the overload there, so he'd be able to see if the probe came down to block. So he's like, yeah, just get the spawning pool first. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth the lost mining time. It's not worth, you know, delaying my queen while I try to fight off the probe and the pylon, the gateway, and whatever else he chooses to make there. So, yeah. So Praetorian is making a very, very typical Forge Fast command. His Nexus is down, building just a little bit ahead of Balls of Steel. But that's pretty typical in this matchup at this point, given the prevalence of probe/pylon blocking and things of that nature. Balls of Steel will have his queen very soon, though. And as soon as those larva injects start happening, then he will be able to make lots and lots of drones and equalize with his opponent very, very quickly in the economy war. And this is very off topic, but completely random. I learned yesterday that if you are a Zerg and you neuroparasite an enemy probe and use it to build like a Nexus, you can use that chrono boost on things like, say, Zergling speed or Roach speed. I don't know if it works on, say, something like Larva Inject, but I would assume it works for building queens. So, and yes, I learned that from the Fun Day Monday with Day9. That was such a good Fun Day Monday. If you guys don't know who Day9 is, he is a StarCraft 2 commentator / an analyst, and he is one of the funniest, most entertaining human beings in existence. You know, I aspire to be a really good caster, but I have no shame in saying that Day9 is a much better caster than me at this point. I hope to someday be as good as him, and I realize that's an incredibly ambitious thing to say because that's what he does for a living. But yeah, he is incredibly entertaining. I will in fact link to the Fun Day Monday that I saw yesterday. If you don't know what Fun Day Monday is, it's where Day9 says, you have to do this, and it's some sort of ridiculous constraint, and you do it in ladder games, and it's hilarious. So the one for last week was, you must neuroparasite an enemy worker, build his buildings, and then kill him with his own units. So what this means is you neuroparasite a probe, you get a Nexus, and then you build the Protoss tech tree. Playing against Terran, of course, is incredibly annoying because you have to keep neuroparasiting the SCV while it builds a command center. But with Protoss, it's a little bit easier. And then, if you're playing against Zerg, it just doesn't work because you neuroparasite the enemy Zergling, and then you're like, well, I guess I'll build a hatchery with this so I can kill him with his own units. But as soon as you build the hatchery, it instantly cancels and goes back to the enemy control. So that's what happens. So Praetorian is pushing out with this Zealot, manages to kill a bunch of Zerglings. Would have been nice to have seen Balls of Steel pull those Zerglings back because they definitely couldn't take out that Zealot. But Balls of Steel macroing up pretty decently. Still hasn't gotten that incredible flood of drones that we tend to see out of players. but he's working towards it. Praetorian is getting a Twilight Council, very interesting. He is taking both gases and throwing down more gateways, so I'm going to say that this is going to be blink play. That would make sense to me. Unless he's wanting to go up to, say, High Templar. Or something along those lines. I mean, with both gases, High Templar would sort of make sense to me. As you can see, my analysis is not as in-depth or knowledgeable as Day9's. And, I mean, that's because I honestly, like, while I've said I want to do this as a career, this is ultimately a hobby at this point. I've got a full-time job. I don't have time to watch replays all day, you know, but on my days off, I like to do lots of casting. And in case you're curious, I cast this entire clan war in a single morning. I had a day off. You know, I normally get up at 4 a.m. for work. So that means I just kind of wake up naturally around 6 or 7 on my days off. And there's not really too much to do at 6 a.m. aside from like hop onto WoW and do something. But it's between expansions right now, so there's not really much going on. So I'm like, you know what? I'm casting all morning. I have fun doing it, so I'm going to keep doing it. But who knows? Perhaps someday I will be a full-time caster. Perhaps I will be the next Caldor. And I say Caldor because I have German blood. That sounds wrong. My descendants were Germans. There we go. Yeah, anyway, I'll analyze this game more, because you guys probably don't want to hear too much about my heritage as, like, a Mennonite boy and all these things, but if you're interested, though, let me know in the comments. I could talk about it more in one of my more casual casts, or maybe during one of my Ladder Madness matches. But, Balls of Steel throwing down some Spore Crawlers. Interesting. Does he think Dark Templar are coming? That does seem likely. Just a precautionary measure, I guess. Did he scout something that... I guess he just hasn't seen much, so he's like, maybe Dark Templar are coming, and I really don't want to die to that. So, interesting decision. Yep, Spore Crawler going up here as well, and there are Spine Crawlers. And not bothering to make one the base. Looks like Praetorian is gearing up for a Blink +2 attack timing, or something along those lines. And wow, Balls of Steel nearly doubling his opponent's supply, but that's kind of what you expect to see at this point in the game, in this matchup, and it looks like Balls of Steel might just be going for just the Stefano-style flood roaches, where around the 13-minute mark, he'll be at 200 food worth of roaches. And it's a style that's fallen out of style. The style has fallen out of style, yes. But it's definitely still doable. It can definitely still win. And especially if you're a Masters level player playing against a Platinum, that might not have the best micro or macro in the world. But here we go. Big attack from Praetorian. Some force fields going down, segmenting off quite a few roaches, but not quite segmenting them all off. Balls of Steel is able to push forward, and he is focusing down those sentries. Very, very good decision. And that will definitely weaken Praetorian's attack as time goes on. He only has a few force fields left. Not sure why he's for. Oh, okay, because he just wants to be able to kill those roaches without them retreating. But Balls of Steel is building 11 roaches at a time. +1 attack is going to finish very, very soon. That will help him a lot. He has 2 queens there to help defend. And here we go. Praetorian pushing up the ramp, falling back once again, trying to bait out more roaches. But Balls of Steel focuses down all the sentries, and he's dealing tons of damage. Transfuses going down on the roaches, pulls back to the Spine Crawlers, waiting for more roaches to come out. And there they do spawn. They're moving down. They do have movement speed, so they move very, very fast. Praetorian trying to move a probe up there to die. He didn't like that probe very much. He does have a warp prism now for forward warping in. Always fun stuff. But Praetorian doing Blink Micro as best as he can. He's doing a decent job, but still losing Stalkers. And Balls of Steel still under a bit of pressure. And Praetorian getting a lot more leverage with this attack than I thought he would. That +2 attack is just doing wonders for his ability to continue dealing damage. Balls of Steel continuing to build roaches as fast as he possibly can. But wow, Praetorian's starting to get a critical mass of Stalkers. And at this point, Balls of Steel needs to regroup, starting to flood Lings. Definitely a good decision. Speed Lings can be very, very good against Stalkers, especially once they've burned their Blink. And oh no, Balls of Steel rallying units in. They're just dying without doing anything at all. Some Zerglings spawning, and he's just streaming units in. He needs to pull them back, regroup, very good. Moving some Spine Crawlers forward, but he might lose this base, and that would be a crippling blow. But no, looks like he's just going to sacrifice it. And I think at this point he's just going to try to make a really big round of units and then do a killer counterattack, trying to gather his stuff forward. Microing that Spine Crawler back really nicely. Bet you've never seen Spy Call, Michael. Well, yes, it is a thing because Spy Callers can walk around. Praetorian continuing to push forward. Where are all of Balls of Steel's forces? There they are. Lots and lots of Speedlings, but they're getting all hung up on the Zealots. +2 Zealots absolutely carved their way through Speedlings. The Balls of Steel continuing to build lots and lots of stuff, not crumbling under the pressure, continuing to build units. Single Roach gets caught out in the middle of nowhere. Another Roach gets caught out in the middle of nowhere. But he does manage to pull it back. Hopefully we'll fix his rally points. There we go. Balls of Steel continuing to fight. Praetorian continuing to put on the pressure. Drones being pulled to fight too. Wow, Balls of Steel just in an incredibly difficult position here, losing lots of drones. But it looks like he might finally be able to clean this up. Blink is used to retreat. Praetorian falling back, continuing to warp in units sometime in the near future. And wow, this Blink Stalker Blade is dealing so much damage. Praetorian Balls of Steel continue to push forward with his Roaches. Spine Crawlers are getting into the fray now. Balls of Steel falls back to them, and this will lend stability to him. But he's lost so many drones. Wow, Praetorian playing so well. Clearly he practiced for the... Yeah, it definitely seems like he practiced for these matches, and this is just doing so well. Balls of Steel continuing to try to push back these Stalkers, but they're doing so much damage. And Balls of Steel down to 27 drones, and he needs to crush this army right now so he can begin redroning, or eventually Praetorian will just overwhelm him with forces. Balls of Steel regrouping, pushing forward once again, but I don't know if this is enough. +2 Blink Stalkers are so good, but he has quite a few Roaches now. He's microing forward well. Praetorian continuing to blink back as best he can, saving some of the Stalkers from death. But Balls of Steel army is just continuing to evaporate, pulls back to the Spine Claws. They will be able to buffer some damage. The Praetorian's army slowly beginning to evaporate, but the Spine Claws do go down. Balls of Steel regrouping once again with his Roaches, trying to focus fire, trying to kill them. It's so hard with Blink. And oh, Balls of Steel just in such a horrible position. I mean, honestly, I was hoping he would win because I want to see this go to Game 9, but he's in a very difficult spot. He's continuing to try, but yeah, the last units get killed. Praetorian is in the base now. He will be able to camp units as they spawn. Continuing to kill everything. Balls of Steel, GG's. Onyx Faith takes the clan war. Very well played. Who is playing for you? Oh man, yeah. I mean, yeah. Flat account, not flat player. Oh man, and it leaves the game. So I don't know. Maybe Praetorian had a friend that came and played for him, but I'm not going to make those accusations. I don't know what happened. All I know is DarkOnyx played and DarkOnyx won. So even though Samurai Faith had players in higher leagues, DarkOnyx managed to pull through. And you know, it could be they were just like, you know what, we really want to prepare for this. We're going to train a lot. We're going to practice builds against certain matchups. And whatever they chose to do for preparation paid off. So, yeah, congrats to DarkOnyx for winning the clan war. Condolences to Samurai Faith. They made a good effort, but it wasn't quite enough. Thank you guys for watching these videos. I do hope you enjoyed them. I hope I can cast more clan wars in the future. This was a lot of fun. Just seeing that team dynamic of certain players coming out in certain situations. And yeah, very well played by Praetorian, managing to take out a Masters level player. So, yeah, thanks again for watching, guys. I'll see you in my next video.